Hello, everybody. I was trying to think of something pithy to say to start this off, which will probably be the final stream of Superstar Saga, but I don't really have anything except for dread. I try not to reveal too much in previous videos, but the final boss of this can be very tricky for a specific gimmick in the fight. However, I did a little something off stream that might make it easier. We'll find out. But enough preamble. Let's cutscene.
Oh, great Bowletta! The Mario Bros who I hate are coming this way. Bah, no matter. They'll never make it here. Koopalings, your time has come.
I think this was the first we saw these guys since... Yoshi's Safari? If we're being technical, I think... Wow, I just beans that. Excuse you. Oh, that's... Slow-moving projectiles. Lethal. I'll see you, Luigi. You were excited to see them in-game. I was, too. Oh, that was a fast one this time. It was a nice little surprise just seeing them acknowledged after so many years of silence. Oops. Well, I guess that worked. Boy, these things are weak. Look where we are now, though. I mean, the Koopalings are... I'm not gonna say, like, series regulars, per se, but they've definitely made more of an impact now. What with, you know, they're in Smash and Mario Kart and whatnot. There wasn't a time when it seemed like Bowser Jr. was forever going to replace the Koopalings. Yeah. And I say that as somebody who likes Bowser Jr. I've never used Thunder Bros. Let's do it. Oh, okay. That was kind of underwhelming, but that was a level 1-1. But yeah, I like Bowser Jr., but I would have been disappointed if it was just Bowser Jr. all the way down, so to speak. Actually, I don't know how many people like Bowser Jr. I feel like I may be in the minority. I know I talked about him last stream, I think, as he is one of my two favorites to play as in Mario Kart Double Dash, which, if you put a bullet bill to my head and made me pick my favorite Mario Kart, heck, it might be Double Dash. Granted, Mario Kart 8 is really good. I don't... Bad. I don't have Mario Kart Deluxe, though, which is... Dang it. I did it again, which is a shame. I kind of wish you got some sort of discount on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because I have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U with all the DLC. But, of course, I can't capitalize on that. Boy, Luigi, you're just... Oh, Luigi's gonna die, isn't he? No. My no-death run is still intact. Just barely. I should really use one of the refreshing herbs, but I'm not sure if his turn is gonna come up soon enough. Hello, Carrie. You know that the Koopalings are no longer, or canonically no longer Bowser's kids, yeah, which I think is a good move. That was kind of a mysterious can of worms there. To say nothing of, Baby Bowser, if you remember from Mario Party. Ah, come on, man. What do you mean I can't jump on a cannonball? Ugh, what is going on? I'm whiffing everything. It's just one of those days, I suppose. It always takes me a bit to warm up anyway. How's everybody doing tonight? They're okay, I think. I feel like I didn't accomplish enough today. I wasn't scheduled today, which was peculiar. So I had the day to myself. I feel like I did not get enough done, though. I mean, I did a workout, which was nice. My knees and back... Oh, see ya. My knees and back don't really like it, though. Trying to dodge these boos while talking is difficult. What else did I do? For those of you here that are familiar with Hypnospace Outlaw, there was the Hypnospace Outlaw Plus that just came out the other day, so I spent some time this morning playing that. I don't want to give away any of the new content, for people who might be wanting to check it out, especially if they played the original release. But I will say that there is an addition to the game that I'm very surprised wasn't in there to begin with, seeing how ubiquitous it was in the 90s. I won't blame you if you turn in early, don't worry. It sounds like we're all feeling a little bleh today. Oh! Speaking of the Koopalings, hello Iggy. All of these guys have different gimmicks here, and I don't remember what they are, because it's been too long. I guess Iggy just makes us really dizzy, and we have to walk an obstacle course, I think? Yeah. Hello, Boogie. Oh, my controls are everywhere. No, don't fall off. Okay. Good. They're not reversed, which is what makes this really weird. Ah, heck. Oh, I guess I just have to... We have to go through that whole rigmarole again, huh? Like, if the controls were just reversed, I'd have no trouble. I'm gonna trip over my words a lot tonight piloting that. But they're like 3/4 of the way off. I'm not sure how else to explain it. But it's not a simple 1-to-1 left is right, up is down, sky is earth. Whoa. I feel like with all these... Ah, heck. With all these button presses I'm doing, I should be able to fire off a Hadouken at least. Right, he doesn't even have the courtesy to say anything. This is the first Koopaling appearance we got in... Was it actually Yoshi Safari? That was the most recent one before this. That would be, like, 10 years, ballpark. They show up and they don't even say anything. Do you have to download it separately? Well, I don't know. I have Hypnospace Outlaw on Steam, so there should be an update queued for it. Things gonna get in my way. No, heck. There should be an update queued for it, so you can just update it there. If you didn't get it through Steam, I don't know. You have it on itch. Maybe check the page, see if there's a separate update you have to download. I don't know, man. Oh boy, this is a good thing to start off with when I feel so rusty. I feel bad not streaming on Tuesday, but I was just completely wiped. And I need to be awake and coordinated for this, as you can very plainly see. Okay, go, 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 go. No, 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 don't get stuck. Ah! Well, how y'all doing tonight while I embarrass myself? I know, but you know, we live in a society where one's worth is directly proportional to their productivity, or that's how it feels anyway. I was like, what do you mean you were tired? You're not producing enough. For shame. You'd make a save state after... I guess I'll do that. You guys don't mind, right? This doesn't count as cheaping out. So you don't have to watch that little cutscene every time. You want to do your hair those colors someday. Are you going to get big swirly glasses too? For the true Iggy look? Please. Ah, you... Cripes. Well, good thing I took Carrie's advice here. I don't know why this one is so hard to dodge. It doesn't seem to move in the same pattern as the top, I guess. A pattern like the top one does? I wonder if its movements are directly correlated to where you are. Whatever, I did it. Cripes, that was embarrassing. Hello, right fam? Sorry you had to maybe witness that. You love it when you read how they named the Koopalings, how they were named after musicians. Then they got to Larry and they said, I'm out of musicians, let's just name him Larry, he looks like a Larry. Is that true? I knew about the musicians thing, but like if you asked me what musician each of them were named after, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I gotta do the advanced version of that, and then I don't. But, so, I mean, if it was just he looks like a Larry, I would buy it. One of your characters has hair like that, just the tips though. But where's the swirly glasses? I gotta say, I kind of miss Iggy's old design where it kind of looked like he was twins with Lemmy because they both have this rainbow hair. And then they gave Iggy that sort of green eruption looking hair. And Lemmy kept the rainbow hair, but he got like a really dumb rat tail with it. Not a fan. Whatever, my favorite Koopaling like to play as if I'm in Mario Kart 8 or Smash is Larry. Well, I say in Smash, but really if I'm gonna play as one of that character set, it will be Bowser Jr. I am a Bowser Jr. fan, as stated earlier. Sorry. You remember people thought he was named after Larry King? I guess he does have big hair. See if you can remember the musicians off the top of your head. Good luck, because I don't. Well, okay, no, I know Beethoven. There you go. Really? This 99 is bugging me. Oh, but there's ones in there. I don't want to do that. 5. Good enough. Roy Orbison, Iggy Pop, Lemmy Kilmister? Who's that? Wendy O. Williams, Morton Downey Jr., Ludwig von Beethoven. Yet. Who Lemmy named after? That name I have not heard before. Very mystified. Pretty good from memory, though. I should have gotten Roy Orbison. Where's this? Oh, this is... Okay, I see. Ah. I could have waited and, like, timed that, but no. Uh-oh. Heck. Someday. Nope. I keep thinking it's gonna be the golden one, and it's not. Oh. I think I can catch Luigi again. I don't rightly remember, though. Oh, that's really underwhelming. Cool, I finally remembered to watch for the cannonball and dodge it. Oh, it lowers their defense, though, that's right. That's not so bad. Lemmy Kilmister's in Motorhead. Okay, it's probably why I didn't recognize him right away. I mean, I know of Motorhead, but if you ask me the band members' names... You like Roy Orbison's music. He has a nice voice. I've heard a couple of his songs. Ah, heck, because my parents had a couple of his songs on their big playlist they'd always listen to on car trips. Oh, man. This is terrible. What is my problem? Let's see if I can catch Luigi. Oh, no? Hang on, I'm gonna heal before I regret it. Have I decided on my next game? Probably Paper Mario, unless somebody tells me something different. No! I've also kind of been eyeballing Bug Fables. Which is, I haven't tried it, so I don't know, but I mean, it's very obviously done in the style of Paper Mario. And I mean, heck, I liked Hollow Knight. I know there's a little reference to Hollow Knight in Bug Fables, so... Oh, okay, I didn't time that right, but I assume maybe you can catch Luigi. You'd like to see Paper Mario? Dang it. But yeah, I could do some Pat Mar. I think still riding off the high of Origami King. I would enjoy that. I haven't played the original Paper Mario in a long time. I remember replaying Paper Mario sometime after I had played Thousand Year Door. And I'd completely forgotten that you need an item to do action commands. So I thought, am I just really bad at this all of a sudden? Why can I not time any of my jumps correctly? Oh my god, oh, I need an item. Okay. Oh, you put me on your little list of recommended streamers now that you're on Twitch? Well, thank you! This is how I repay it, by embarrassing myself. I gotta do the same. Carrie here also streams and has been on YouTube until some strange shenanigans recently, so... Carrie's a chill gal. Would recommend. Oh, I guess you can do multiple hits if the enemy doesn't die right away. You can tell I never use the bro moves, except like the first couple whenever I played. You remember the last time you played Paper Mario? Oops, I shouldn't look at the chat. Paper Mario in the N64, your niece was born. 3 days ago, your niece turned 13. Oh, I don't like the passage of time. It's upsetting. It's weird. Oh, a beans that. Don't do that. Oh. Oops, there goes my no death run. Ha. I deserve that for being so distracted. Let's fix. Your parents didn't buy you an N64, so you went to your friend's house to play it. That's a cute animation. You know what? Worth it. And you remember being, where's Mallow? Where's Gino? Oh. What is my problem today? Goodness me. I'm very distracted, apparently. Even for like the past couple hours, just time has felt fake, for lack of a better word. I don't know, maybe I'm still kind of worn out from the workout. Okay, let's heal, do this properly. I'm gonna focus for a bit. Has anyone drawn Mallow and Gino in the Paper Mario art style? That would be cute. I can also picture it. Please. Nope, too soon. It's like I make the mistake, and my brain knows I've made a mistake, but I can't actually do anything about it. I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. There we go. Elementary, middle school, you did not understand intellectual property laws. I mean, I feel like most people now probably don't understand the full breadth of intellectual property laws. Like look at the prevalence of reaction videos. That feels like a legal gray area. I mean, this is coming from someone who hates reaction videos, though. But you're essentially reposting someone else's content with your face awkwardly plastered on it. This is good enough. Man, I can't hear these instruments and not think about Golden Sun. Wow, we haven't seen these blocks since, what, Stardust Fields? Hello, Bow Bow. Please pet your animals. Anyone who has animals present, I would appreciate that. Virtual pets, thank you. It just makes me think in a weird way about, well, it's not really weird, just about virtual pets and how Tamagotchi, I think, were a big thing when I was... I think they were first launched here when I was in elementary school. And I remember a kid I knew had one and let me try taking care of it for a few days. It was one of the actually, it wasn't a Tamagotchi, I think. It was one of the Digimon virtual pets. And my style of raising it was to... Hello, Morton. My style of raising it was to not immediately answer any call for attention it gave, reasoning that, I don't know, Tamagotchi could learn to become clingy and dependent. Well, Digimon, but... And when I gave it back to my friend, I say friend very nebulously, they had digivolved into some powerful form that this kid had not been able to get. And they're all, how did you do that? Like, oh, you know, tough love or something. You remember having Tamagotchi when you were in 3rd grade. One time, you brought yours to school and accidentally wiped your data and you cried at the middle of class. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, no matter what it is, it sucks when you put time and effort into something and then your efforts are all for naught. Like, gosh, how many times have I played through Kirby Superstar because of that? Now I understand it's kind of a widespread issue the game had where it would abruptly delete all your save data. I never owned the game. My brother and I borrowed it from our cousins. But whenever we did, it feels like half the time, I would turn it on and then, 0%, 0%, 0%. So I'd like, well, time to do everything again. And it's not a really long game when you get right down to it, but I was really stubborn. You had a Tamagotchi dog for some reason, and you couldn't have it at school, so your mom kept it with her during the day. That was nice of her. You were really interested in Tamagotchi when they came out. You had 2 books about them. I mean, their designs are interesting. That was easy. I myself don't really have the patience for maintaining a virtual pet, especially one that bothers you every, few minutes. I don't know how often it actually was, but it felt like every 2 minutes, beep, beep, beep. Your teacher told you she didn't get the big deal because it's just pressing buttons. I mean, so many things are just pressing buttons. Jeez. Don't be so dismissive. You had both Tamagotchi and Digimon. Gosh, do you guys remember the big schism between, I was gonna say Donkey Kong, Digimon and Pokemon, and how everybody's like, oh, Digimon ripped off Pokemon, even though I think Digimon actually came first. I like them both, so I never knew what people were getting all up in arms about, but that's like grade school for you. Although my preference is Pokemon. I had a lot of fun watching Digimon. I remember whenever like a new season of it premiered, and I'd always tell myself, okay, I'm gonna get up early to watch it, and I'd always sleep in and be really mad at myself. And so it was a long time for, I think, every Digimon series up until... Actually, yeah, every Digimon series, I never got to see the first episode for a long time. In the days before people had DVRs and whatnot. If you missed it, well, just too bad. The official Tamagotchi book from Bandai was really good from what you remember. They're apples and oranges, yes, I concur. Pokemon and Digimon definitely scratch different itches for me. It sounds like I'm being an edgelord when I say it, but Digimon definitely had like a darker story, I think. Especially the animated series. Like some of those plot lines, man. It wasn't like Pokemon where the status quo reset every season. Ash perpetually being 10 years old. And I say this as someone who has watched a lot of Pokemon back in the day. For Christmas in '97, you got some sort of off-brand non-Tamagotchi or Digimon virtual pet, and it had an alarm set at 2:30 a.m. that you didn't know how to shut off, so it woke you up every single night. Oh no! What did you do about it? Like, did you just wind up breaking it? Throwing it out the window? Giving it to somebody you didn't like, but like passive-aggressively, so they didn't suspect anything? Your school banned them because they would call for attention or need feeding or whatever during class. I have a memory of that too. And like kids trying to hide them beneath their desks and all that. What you're supposed to do is set the time forward in the morning so they sleep during the day, then set it back when school's over. Sneaky! You think your dad took the battery out. That's a good idea. Although I still think it would have been better if you had just given it to somebody you didn't really like. Your school banned everything related to Pokemon. My school definitely banned Pokemon cards. I don't remember if they I don't think they outright banned, like, actually playing Pokemon, but the cards are bad. Your school banned almost everything, so not having them at school was expected. I mean, you grew up in a very religious town, though, right? So there's the whole, what do they call, satanic panic back in the day? Hello, Lemmy. We're not doing this again, are we? Okay. Okay. Maybe I should pay attention and see if there's a tell. Well, this was the last one. There we go. Where? Everybody does this one attack. In 4th grade, a girl got sent home from your school for having Pokemon on their shoes. Wow. You think at your school you could wear Pokemon t-shirts and stuff, but you couldn't have the games or cards. Oh, the town wasn't Christian, but it was a Christian college and Christian elementary and high school, so okay, that was it. I just knew something about where you lived. Had a very religious bent, so I could see that being a problem. Is that... No? Oh, it was a Goomba and I killed it. Sorry. Nope. Oh, there we go. Oh. Really? Eh? Cool. I was worried he was gonna split again. I never did get, like, the ability scroll for Luigi. Oh, okay. You snuck both Pokemon material and virtual pets into school as contraband. The system cannot contain you. Good. Gosh, Carrie, I never knew you were such a delinquent. I know back in 5th grade, I'm gonna say. I think it was, yeah, 5th grade. I brought my Game Boy Color to school, even though I wasn't supposed to. Oh, right. You're not the right brother. You can't hold your water. Somebody wound up stealing it. And I'm pretty sure I knew which kid did it, but I was at the bottom of the school pecking order, and this kid was fairly popular, so, like, nobody would take any accusations seriously. I remember it didn't have my copy of Pokemon in it at the time. It had my copy of Pocket Bomberman. Anybody play that? That was... You know what? That was totally worth it. Ugh, I keep wanting to jump too soon with that. Anybody play Pocket Bomberman? No, that was too soon. It was a 2D side-scrolling kind of platformer, which was odd for Bomberman, but there you go. You got suspended for fighting? Wow, heck yeah, Carrie. Oops. For some reason, I thought I was doing Knockback Bros. I was not doing Knockback Bros. Boy, screwing this attack up is like doing a trust fall, and then the other person just dropping you. Like, Mario goes to catch Luigi and then gets distracted by some pasta or something. Oh wait, we're targeting 2 different Magikoopas. Oh. I wonder this is taking so long. Let's try the advanced one. That wasn't it. Wasn't it? Haha. You got in trouble once for hitting a kid, but he was being a bully. You didn't play Pocket Bomberman, but you've been thinking about Bomberman Hero a lot the other day, thinking about Bomberman Hero a lot lately. I had one of the songs from the game stuck in my head yesterday. I don't remember which one it was, though. The girl who was picking on your friends, who you got into a fight with over it, got suspended for longer as he should have. Good. Sorry, CDI Zelda. Good! Man, that cracks me up every time I see it. Can I spit through here? I guess so. It looks like a grate. Instead of rats, it's Mecha Koopas. Oops, I don't know why I fired that so soon. Luigi's used to being dropped. That's so depressing. You've been listening to the Bomberman Hero soundtrack a lot. You know, I was thinking when I had one of the songs in it stuck in my head the other day, how a game with such a good soundtrack had such abysmal sound design. Heck, really? For those of you who haven't played it, the sound effects and sound balancing in that game are atrocious. Even like the level 4 bombs, like the strongest explosion radius you can get, the bombs make a really horrible tinny sounding blast. Why can I not do this? Ugh. There are a lot of really repetitive sound effects in the game. Stuff that was just too loud. I would not recommend Bomberman Hero. Aside from sound design, it's a kind of janky game to play. Why can I not do this? This is embarrassing. I guess because I'm too busy ratting on Bomberman Hero. The mechanics in it are also weird. Like, if you could collect gems in the levels, and if you get... Did I just not... Yeah, I just walked by one. I'm that distracted. If you collect, I think, 1,000 points worth of gems, you get a health upgrade. But if you turn off the game, then you don't keep it. I mean, like, the game saves your data otherwise, but you don't keep the health upgrades. And the default number of hits you can take is 4 without grinding to upgrade your health bar. So, like, if you want more health to take on a boss or something, then you're just gonna have to grind without turning the game off. Why can I not do this? Okay, I'm gonna focus for a second. You remember the final boss having a really annoying laugh that played through the fight? You mean that that one? And there was that cat girl Nadia who also had a distinctive laugh. Oh, that one? I didn't quite do it right, but... No, this is a lot easier when I actually focus on what I'm doing. Who knew? You gonna come down here, buddy? Eh? No. Oh. I'm out of juice. Yeah, hers is a lot higher pitched that I could probably do without... Well, at least weirding my dad out. I'm sure my dad can hear my commentary while I'm streaming. Come on. Okay. So the secret is to not be reading chat the whole time and actually focus on what I'm doing. What happens if I electrocute Mario while he's full of water? Sorry, I have to know. Oh, that's right. It just makes him spew it. Piranha Plant Pros. When tickled from behind, all water gets spit out. Oh. I could have just gone into the next room. Which Game Boy was it on? Was it one with batteries? I don't know if you're being fatuous or not. Game Boy, sorry, Pocket Bomberman was a Game Boy Color. Bomberman Hero was the N64. You didn't realize it at the time because you hadn't yet seen Star Wars, but the plot of Bomberman Hero is literally just Star Wars. Yes, it is! I did not realize it when I first played either, but yes, it is. Just the plot of Star Wars. Aww. But yeah, the Game Boy Color had a replaceable battery. It wasn't until the Game Boy Advance SP you would charge it by plugging it in. I had one of those. Oops, I started mashing A too early. I actually had a headphone adapter. Dang it. So I could actually listen to the music in game because perplexingly, the Game Boy Advance SP did not have a headphone jack. I really should pay attention to what I'm doing. And I don't like playing games and not being able to hear the music. Especially, you know, if I have a Game Boy Advance SP, obviously I'm out and about. So that really bothered me. It was like a little split adapter that plugged in... I guess I should kill the Magic Koopas, shouldn't I? Yeah. Oh, it was Mario. Oops. Yeah, the little adapter plugged into where the power port is, and then split so you could plug in the actual AC adapter and your headphones. Sorry, you didn't remember the start of the conversation. That's okay. I mean, look how distracted I am right now. Strange rambling, going off on tangents, forgetting what I'm doing, not dodging attacks. Ah, they're so sad. I feel kind of bad about it. I just gave this guy like... I was gonna say PTSD, but that's not nice to joke about, even in jest. But I mean, look at that guy. I have enacted some horrible trauma. Now headphone jacks are obsolete. No, I am not using AirPods or whatever that I just know I would lose immediately. I mean, stuff like, you know, Bluetooth headphones are cool and all, but I like having the option to just plug in headphones to, say, my phone or something, because having Bluetooth on drains the battery like nobody's business. Not that my phone model is really up to date or anything either. Maybe a newer model would not be such a power hog, but it's just a very uncollected day. Yes. He has lost his reason to live. I have destroyed his... I mean, is it a sentient chomp? Hello, Ludwig. Oh, I gotta do this? Oh, he faked me out. Ludwig's hair looking more purple than usual. I mean, it's always been kind of like a bluish purple. Is it going to be the same? Oh, it's not the same pattern. Oh. Can we just end this now, please? Sir? Okay. What is your gimmick, Ludwig? Ow. Can't believe I donked that up. They all have that attack. It's easy to dodge, and yet... No, I don't want to use Swing Bros. Chopper Bros is reliable. Doesn't anyone talk in this castle? Yeah, except at the beginning. It's been weirdly quiet, hasn't it? Disconcerting. After so many NPCs in this game are, ah, heck, really chatty. Don't do that. Trying to get him with the defense debuff from Thunder Bros. Oh, I did get it, even though I screwed up the attack. Cool. That's all I need. Oh. Uh-oh. Nope. Okay. Screwed that up. The Koopaling's colors are all wonky in Super Mario World. I'm reading the chat out of order because I'm fighting this guy. Wasn't his hair white and his shield yellow in Super Mario World? Yes. And yes, Joe's comment is correct. The Koopaling colors are all wonky in Super Mario World. I don't know why. Imagine if those were like the canon colors instead of what we have now. I mean, it certainly would make them more visually distinctive for one another. That they'd all have, like, different shell colors. Actually, no, several of them have yellow shells, never mind. It would just be a mess. Never mind. It's good the way they are now. Oops. Nope. Actually, this reminds me of something I never showed off. Maybe it's not a great time to do it now, but that's okay. So, hang on. Order of operations. So if I shrink Mario... And I do this. Luigi suffers for our amusement. However, I don't really want to do that because it does take off his health. I think it's only 1 health in this version. I think in the remakes they upped how much health each jump takes off of him. Don't quote me on that though. What do you mean, wow? I mean, this is just part of the course at this point. Luigi's suffering is absolute. Which kind of reminds me, in a way, a couple days ago, Carrie here and I did a dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV. I don't actually know how you say the name of the dungeon. It might be Hawk Manor or Hake Manor? Whatever. It's a spooky mansion. And at the beginning of every dungeon, the camera does a little, like, fly-through of the dungeon. And dang it. And I kept thinking, man, this sure is Luigi's mansion. Spooky gothic mansion. I'm glad I wasn't tanking for that. I thought about it. I decided to be the healer instead. And I'm glad because the layout of that place is weird. And for those of you who don't know how it works, when you're the tank, you're essentially just leading the party. Because you want to be the person the enemies see first. So you're the one who has to lead the party down hallways, and why can I not do this? Because I'm distracted. Anyway, that's my story. It was a cool dungeon. Twisty-turniness aside. The people we were playing with are really nice, though. So when I said, hey, we've never done this dungeon before, anything we should do, anything we should know, they clued us into the boss's gimmick at the end, and the tank was like, oh, just follow me and don't die, with a winky face. So that was a good time. Yeah, don't die. They were a good bunch. I find, I mean, I don't really do MMOs anyway, but playing with strangers always stresses me out a little bit because I worry about being the anchor, as my brother would say, the weakest link in a team. So it's hang on, where am I going? I should probably figure this out first. I always worry that I'm not going to perform optimally. Can I get Luigi under there? Oh yeah. I worry that I'm not going to perform optimally and then people are going to be mean about it. Oh, I think I need to stay underneath. Yeah, don't die is very good advice. Oops. You found that they're nicer in Final Fantasy XIV. I jumped up again. They're nicer in Final Fantasy XIV than WoW. Yeah, what's it like in World of Warcraft? I mean, I think part of what makes me nervous too is that, I mean, Final Fantasy XIV has been out for quite a while. So there's, I think, more fear that, oh, everybody's already going to know how to do these dungeons, so I'm just going to drag them down by not knowing right away. But yeah, thankfully people have been really nice so far. I did a dungeon earlier in the week that I didn't mean to do. It was something I had unlocked, but I wasn't feeling up to doing it at the time because I knew nothing about it, except it contained bees, not the bees, etc. that would kill you very quickly if they didn't get taken out right away. And long story short, I wound up going to that dungeon by accident as the tank. So not only did I not know what I was doing, I would have to lead the way. But I asked everybody at the start, hey, never been here before, is there anything I should know? And they were all incredibly sweet and helpful and explained the mechanics to me at the start, which is good because that dungeon had a lot of mechanics that definitely would have caught me off guard if I hadn't been aware of them previously. Like the mini boss casts doom on everybody, and you have to stand on a glowing platform that will change every few seconds to cure the doom debuff, otherwise you die. Or as the tank, I have to lure statues to buttons, so they die on the buttons and open doors, that kind of thing. Ghost. That was also very long-winded, and I'm sorry, but I guess that's what's been on my mind this week, you know? Again, I'm not really an MMO person, but there's something about Final Fantasy XIV I've been enjoying. I think just because it's like just the right amount of distracting. Oh, that is on a different plane. You know, in these troubling times. Okay, I need to actually get over here, looks like. Anchor is actually a good thing to be in Splatoon, though. It's usually just a backliner hanging back, staying alive, letting teammates jump back to them. You know, you're not wrong. Okay, where am I actually going? I got so distracted that... Oh, here. This didn't look like a ledge I could jump on. Stop following me. Okay, look at chat later. Platforming. You tended to play WoW alone, but you did have random people trade you higher level gear. That's really nice. I like it when people are kind to newer players. Oh, it's the disco balls from Mario 3. What are they called? Roto discs, I think? I don't know, because I always called them disco balls. It's like the I want up there. The Hard Hat Beetles in A Link to the Past and other Zelda games. I always called them bumper crabs because they look like crabs and you bounce off them like rubber bumpers if you try and attack them. So yeah, bumper crabs. This loot probably isn't even that good, but I have to get it. You remember having a group in WoW who was really nice and the leader was really enthusiastic and into the game. I didn't know you ever played WoW. I thought you were like me and you kind of bounced off MMOs. Rotodisc sounds right, and you always called them disco balls too. Oh good. Same hat. Oh. What impeccable craftsmanship. Is this gonna dump this Bowser cutout into the lava? Ah, somebody worked really hard on that. You did a long time ago, back in 06, 07. Goodness. You know what? I shouldn't fuss so much about, like, not inherently knowing where everything is in Final Fantasy XIV because of the big free trial extension. There's probably a lot of new players, so I should relax and have fun. How could anybody destroy that art? Yeah. You always played as a human, which you regretted because that was always the most boring choice possible. I kind of relate. So I've been too tired to really do anything with it, but I did pick up the Crystal Chronicles remake, even though I've heard it's very disappointing in how it handles its multiplayer. I always, and I am now, whenever I played with my brother and in the file I started, I play as the Clavat, which is basically the boring human race. Bowser's Castle Quiz. What must you do to hit the high and low blocks simultaneously? Oh, I thought they were gonna, like, finish that off. Like it was a rhetorical question. Like on a game show. It was not. I'm a little off center. Oh, we're good. Only the host gets the clear. Yeah, plus apparently, you can't... I don't know this for sure because I haven't tested it, but you can't, say, make a party with friends and stay in that party and visit towns together. You get kicked out in the dungeon, or rather kicked out after you do the dungeon. Oh, okay, goodbye, Roy. Roy is not here for these divisive Final Fantasy opinions, apparently. But yes, Joe, I get you. I'm playing as the boring race in Crystal Chronicles, as I have always been doing. Oh, hey. Uh-oh. When the number on the face of the time bob-on reaches 0, it's game over for you! Defeat the Koopaling before the number reaches 0! Okay, I don't get to read any dialogue in here. What gives? You played as a troll main and you played World of Warcraft too? Goodness. For anybody watching, I myself have never played WoW, because again, I tend to bounce off MMOs, but... learning some new things about my friends here. Ah, heck. What am I doing? You know, this is because I play as a tank in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm used to just eating the hits. That's a terrible excuse, and I know it. And actually, I tend to do tank and healing, so... I like protecting people, I guess. And also, if you're DPS, like, the queue times for dungeons and whatnot are massive, so... You're getting weirdly nostalgic for WoW now, even though you haven't played it in a long time, and... You know, it's probably completely different now, so going back, it won't be the same. I know there was... I'm gonna get the name of it wrong, but there was a release a while ago of, like, classic WoW, of, like, the 1.0 release of the game, and, like, things would be unlocked and events would happen, on the same time frame that it did originally. I'm probably getting those details wrong, because it's been a long time since I read about it. You sure did. You regretted not picking horse? Horde. I knew you probably meant horde, but... horse is really funny. Yeah, you can be Horde, Alliance, or Horse. Is being a healer difficult? Do I get a lot of attitude? No, I mean, I'm still, thankfully not. I mean, the highest level dungeon I've unlocked is a level 35 dungeon. That's the one I tanked in by accident. I have gotten no sass, but I haven't had anyone die on me either, except for a couple instances where I wouldn't be able to do anything about it because a player got hit with an instant kill attack, like a bomb. I don't mean like a bomb sort of bomb. I mean the Final Fantasy enemy bomb. Which are just like red orbs that if you're hit by the blast of them, you'll probably die. Although once Carrie took a hit from one and she lived with very little hit points, but she did it, so that was kind of impressive. I want to get these even though they're going to be disappointing. Oh, man, I don't need that one. Usually people at high levels I can get sass, but usually people are very nice to healers. Yeah, thankfully. I mean, you gotta be nice to the person that's keeping you alive, I would think. I know, like in some online games, it's easy to blame the healer for when people lose. You know, like, why did you let me die? That kind of thing. And that kind of stresses me out, but knock on wood, I've been really good at managing a lot of different targets so far. And I've got good reflexes, so that helps. I use a controller to play, which I don't know if it will make things harder for me in the long run or not. Do I need to fight these boos, or... No. I guess so. You heard a story about a run where a healer refused to heal anyone unless they were on a specific cooldown with their skills? Or either they wouldn't resurrect anyone? That's odd. How do you enforce that? Like, do you mean the healer's skills? Like, unless one of my skills is on a cooldown, I won't heal you? Oh, it was Luigi. Okay, I can... Okay, counterclockwise is Luigi, I think. Very stingy with their heals, too. Again, that's really weird. Why would you do that? I mean, it's basically, if I'm the healer, I decide who lives and who dies. I mean, part of the appeal to me is helping people. I don't want to be a jerk about it. I feel so bad for this guy. I mean, not bad enough to stop hitting him, obviously, but... Gasp. Oh. Should I just use a bros attack? Do the hand attack works, or is the boot too high up? I guess let's find out. Yeah, too high up. For science. Now, for those of you who have played games with a similar structure, do you have a preference for what role you play? Like in Final Fantasy XIV, there's tank, DPS, and healer. Yeah, it's funny, my initial class, you pick out your starting class, and mine was, I picked Pugilist, the punchy things class, obviously. So I thought that would be more interesting to play with a controller, but it's, I think, only my third highest level now, with my warrior and white mage being higher. And I think part of that, again, is like just because the queue times to do dungeons and stuff as DPS are comparatively massive, where like if I do a dungeon as a healer or something, I get in probably immediately. You prefer range classes. I tried out Thaumaturge a little bit in 14, which is like the baby version of the Black Mage, but I kind of bounced off it. I don't know, maybe I don't like standing still to do stuff. Plus all the MP management. I don't know, maybe if I gave it another go, but dang it, I like the classes I got now. But I really gotta get my act together before Balletta, huh? No. No. I kind of miss this boo design. They're cute. use Thunder Bros. That would make a difference. Ah, I dunked that up. That might not have hit... I don't think it would hit them anyway. Because... Ah! Items are prohibited. Why are you talking to me? You were a healer main in RO, a ranged DPS class focusing on sniping and binds in World of Warcraft, and I know your Final Fantasy XIV situation. You're just whatever. I mean, I've seen you go between tank, healer, and DPS in Final Fantasy XIV, so it's like I don't know your true preference. Oh, that was Luigi. I don't know why I did Mario. I got distracted thinking about that boo face. And how, like, the boos in Super Mario World would make all sorts of wacky faces like that. Oh, please don't tell me they respawn. Okay. Because you like aspects of all of them. That's why. Plus it helps to be versatile, right? I haven't gotten to do it a lot, but something I have enjoyed when it happens in Final Fantasy XIV is, if I'm just out and about and I see another player in trouble, I can just pop off a heal. I was kind of worried like they find it patronizing or something. Like, I got it, thank you. But I don't know, I've been randomly healed by passing healers before, and I always really appreciated it. What is going on in this room? Am I missing something? I mean, which I very well might be in my distracted state. Oh, can I light these? Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here if I did the right brother. There we go. You tended to play Ranger in WoW. In RO, you were an Archer, whatever. In Final Fantasy XIV, you were also an Archer. Forgot I could do fire on top of the barrel. Nope. There we go. There we go. At least I didn't get stuck there for too long. I will not let my distracted brain win the day. Okay. Oh. It's like it wore off right as I got to the end there. I think I timed that poorly too. Yeah, if it wears off, you stop being in a line. There we go. Go, go, go. There we go. Ranger was fun. You were surprised since you didn't expect to enjoy a range class. Gosh, you know, more people I know here have played MMOs than I was aware of. I knew Don did, but I didn't know about other people. What am I doing? Said I wasn't going to get distracted, and it's still happening. By the way, in a not distracted note, has everyone here eaten today? I know it's an easy thing to forget, especially when the day has been weird like it has for me, but you should definitely eat if you have not done so. From your friendly neighborhood streamer to you. And also hydrate yourself. You do need to eat soon. You should do that. I wound up very disappointed today because I bought tortillas to make these spinach and white bean quesadillas. And I bought the tortillas yesterday, and their best before date was like September 20th or something. And I opened them up and I discovered there was mold on them. So I'm very disappointed. Hello, Wendy. I have been burned by the grocery store before. And that I try and be very careful when I buy products like yogurt and whatnot, because there'll often be things out there that has already expired. It's like the one time I don't check. Like, oh, this expired a week ago. Cool, thanks, grocery store. Totally on the up and up. It was sad. You should pat Bao Bao for me. Yes. Time bomb. I get you. Okay, that's how that works. I didn't actually mean to do this attack, but that's fine. Oh no, it didn't work? Aw. Maybe I held it too long? Whatever. Let's try using the debuff here. Oh, I think I did that too late. This gimmick again? Eh. Nope. Spinies this time, though. Nah, okay. Please don't split again. Please don't split again. Okay, cool. You think you have a mild phobia of mold. When you see you have moldy food or in your pantry or fridge, you're like, ah! I mean, I don't blame you. It's very unpleasant when, like, you know, you buy bread or something and then it's ruined. Oh, no. Oh, jeez, I gotta heal this. Well, let's do this first. When you first moved out, you lost a lot of food to mold because of your bad fridge or not eating something fast enough. Ah, man, when I lived with a roommate, I could probably just power through this, I think. When I lived with a roommate, something was always going wrong with our fridge. And I remember a lot of the time, I'm glad I didn't eat very much, so like I'd never buy very many groceries, and she would abruptly have to move everything to a little mini fridge, and her food took up exponentially more space. So it was lucky that I only ever had a couple things, because otherwise I would probably just have to forfeit it. Food going bad is the pits. I remember in that fridge my milk would always go bad really quickly, which is disappointing. I would buy milk so I had something to put in my tea. I take my tea with milk. I usually drink black tea. How do you folks like your tea if you drink tea or coffee? But I feel like we've had the discussion about coffee before. I take cream in my coffee if I'm drinking it, but it has to be really good coffee. And I don't like drip coffee. This is not, there we go. I like Americanos though. I do not like booze. Flying into Mario though. Oh, I was looking at the chat. Didn't even see the boo. There we go. You like your tea with milk / creamer and sugar, you drink your coffee black, or just sugar and sweetener, you don't really drink coffee. You don't like booze, but you do like booze. Ha ha ha. I get it. In moderation, of course. If you imbibe, please drink responsibly. I don't know why I'm bothering. This is only gonna do like 1 damage, so let's just jump on it, I guess. It's been a while since you've had boozy tea. I've never had boozy tea. Well, no, I think I've tried putting like Bailey's in my tea as an experiment, because my parents used to put that stuff in their coffee and tea all the time. So they would have it around and I would try it, and I thought, nah, this is too sweet. It's gross. I mean, I just put milk or cream in my tea. If I'm having coffee, I prefer cream, but if I have tea, I prefer milk. I think whole milk was the best milk. But I could not get behind Bailey's. I thought it tasted gross. You drink your tea straight. You also take your coffee black, don't you, Carrie? Which is very hardcore. Ugh. Come on, get up. There you go. Okay, let's get rid of the Magic Koopa first. Ah. Well, I guess you don't have to be traumatized. You usually don't put anything in your tea. Sometimes you make matcha lattes. Lattes in air quotes with milk. So not steamed milk, you just, instead of hot water, you use hot milk. That's not a bad idea. Joe and you holding it down for Team Unaltered. I know I've seen, like, it was a Tumblr post, I think, that people were lambasting about some post in a coffee shop saying, like, you know, please try the coffee without adding sugar to it first. And everybody was making fun of it and saying, like, I paid, you know, however much for my latte, I will put sugar in it. And I kept thinking, like, they're not saying don't. They're just saying try it first and see if you like it without. Maybe you'll be surprised. There's also, when I visit the States, there's this nice cafe near, I say relatively near, it's like several blocks from the hotel where I stay, that also had a similar sign about trying your coffee first. I know people like to make fun, but yeah, I mean, if it's really high quality coffee, you might be surprised. Maybe you won't need to put as much sugar or cream in it. I don't think it's people being snobby. Oh, heck. Smash your face in Luigi for science. Nope, there we go. Wait, you're supposed to heat the milk? I mean, you can make your matcha lattes however you want. Matcha air quote lattes. Let me see what's over here before I split Mario off. That's one of these blocks again. Okay. You see all these home cafe videos calling things lattes when they just add milk to them. I mean, I think that is the technical definition. You know, because I work in a coffee shop, I associate latte with steamed milk specifically. You think some people like sugar and milk with a splash of coffee? Boy, I've seen some orders, and I want to be clear that I never judge or shame people for their coffee orders. You order what makes you happy. Hang on, I'm not gonna think you're weird. But I definitely have orders where I get concerned, just because the amount of sugar in them is alarming. And it's not like a one-off thing. People will order these constantly, and I think, how do you do this? How do you not get sick? I would get sick after, like, an eighth of this. I can't just jump down from here, can I? Nope, I have to go around. Steamed milk is amazing, but it has to be aerated correctly. Again, I work in a coffee shop, so I like to think I know what I'm talking about. But if you steam milk properly, so the foam is really smooth and creamy, there's no large bubbles. Microfoam is what we call it. It has a very smooth, kind of a bit of a sweet taste to it, just because of how the proteins in the milk get altered. But if it's steamed poorly with big cottony bubbles, it doesn't taste right. And if it's not aerated enough, it tastes very plasticky, like microwaved. Oh, I need to go the other way. I'm sorry, I'm thinking coffee shop thoughts. Go get some food, Boogie. You can't imagine drinking something with that much sugar and syrup and not crashing a couple hours later. Yeah, there was something I had to make yesterday that was, I don't know if I can explain how alarming it was without sort of contextualizing our whole recipe system, but essentially it was one of our little vanilla bean frappuccinos, but with 2 extra syrups added to it, and those extra syrups there were more pumps of them than we normally would add to that drink if we were to add an extra syrup. Plus, they wanted caramel sauce all on the top of it. Plus, they wanted vanilla bean powder sprinkled on top, which is like sugary vanilla. So, again, I'm not judging, but it gets alarming after a point. Although, you know, on a similar note, something I've been wanting to offer. Oh. Okay. I guess I should pay attention to Pong with Larry first. Cool. thing I've been meaning to offer, that if anyone here is intimidated by my place of employment, let's say, and you don't know how to order or something, or you worry about looking foolish, or you want to know, I hate to use the word hacks, but something like that, you're more than welcome to ask me. I've been in the business for a long time, so I would be delighted to dispense some of the knowledge that I've picked up. Straight diabetes. Yeah, diabetes in a cup, basically. And it's not just kids ordering the really sugary drinks either. I find it's either kids that get the really sugary drinks, or it's, like, older men? I don't actually know. I mean, my sample size is obviously limited to the people I see. I wonder if there's actually been a study done on it. You know what this is throwing me off is that the fireballs are higher up than they were in the other Koopaling fights. So the timing's a little different. You've forgotten most of the things you've learned at your first job at a small coffee shop. Maybe that's for the best. You do have a bit of a sweet tooth, but that's way too much sugar for you. Think of like, like a 12-ounce coffee, but with 5 sugars in it. Stuff like that. I mean, I work morning shifts, so obviously you get more kids and teenagers later in the day. Oh no. There we go. So I might be missing some of the really bad drinks. Goodbye. You prefer to have sweet things for dessert, not first thing in the morning. Yeah, but again, people do themselves. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to make you drink and make sure you enjoy it. It's a very difficult job, especially in the past few months. What with the extra responsibilities they've been dumping on us, while simultaneously cutting our labor, which just means less people to do more work. But I like making people happy. It's hard to do first thing in the morning, being really cheerful and peppy. You know, I gotta be on, for lack of a better word, and it gets difficult when I'm really tired and I just want to go back to bed. But, oh, this looks like a boss fight. Are we good? I think... Okay, no, I don't need to change equipment yet. Finally, I got to do some voices. Jeez.
I have fury! At last, my entrance with drama! Finally, now is the time where my true might shines like many angry sunbeams of rage! Standing in the spotlight at such a gala of spectacularity, my nerves are nervous! But, now that I am thinking, Kekletta's revival was all thanks to my quite nasty efforts! Which means that all this time, I am Fawful, who is just a toady, such working all for others. And that means the true meaning of our battle gives me fear and confusion. I need no long speech before this battle, which will now be mighty. Snack on my wrath, think rats!
Boy, this design is disconcerting. I don't think I like it. Grr. No. Something very Invader Zim about this guy.
What a wasting!
I think I have to bust this shell first.
Ratfink, try as you might, the resulting will be the same.
Still calling your attacks the same way, huh, Fawful? He is very Zim-like, like a combination of Zim and Gur. You like I Have Fury? Yeah, man, that line is legendary.
You have annoying persistence, and now you eat this!
Man, I don't remember how to, like, dodge any of these attacks. Oh, well, I screwed that up, sort of. Not that they hurt very much, but they're inconvenient.
Ouch! Hotness! It is the overheat!
Oh, I trying to ruin this guy's day. That line was everywhere on the internet back when this game came out. Yeah. Was it Partners in Time? I think it was Partners in Time that had the two, I'm gonna say roboticized, maybe just robotic Hammer Brothers that spoke in leet speak, and everybody thought it was the funniest thing, but even then I was kind of rolling my eyes at it. One of those things that doesn't age well. No. Yeah, that was Partners in Time. I've only played through Partners in Time once. I should replay it, but I remember not being as big of a fan of it. I mean, it did have babies! Which maybe is precisely the reason. Specifically, Mario's voice clip, though, was funny. I mean, it was interesting seeing Bowser as basically Bowser Jr., but with a blank neckerchief, whatever. I feel like Bowser did not recognize his infant self as himself. Come on, come on, come on. Aw. Dang, the depth perception on this is not good. Ugh, bad. You don't think Elite Speak is really a thing anymore? Yeah, I don't think so. Dang it. Maybe we've just collectively deleted that from our minds. I mean, there's a lot of internet subculture that is forgettable. Oh, I screwed that up again. Please, please, let me redeem myself tonight. Criminy. Don't forget to use my pepper. I'll use my pepper on the next fight. Actually, no, I'll use it now. I'll use it now. I think I might get one more move before he turns back. So let's try and make the most of this. Really? Oh. Well, that worked out, I suppose. Deleted. That's the only one that gets to stay. Boy, Homestar Runner is like 20 years old, huh?
Unless my mind is crazy, I have somehow managed to lose. This must be fate. I must accept the defeating.
Really?
I have fury! Ha! Now taste the finale, when carelessness opens the door to a comeback not expected by you. Your lives that I spit on are now but a caricature of a cartoon drawn by a kid who is stupid. You shall all fall and vanish with your precious Bean Kingdom as I laugh heartily at you!
Ha! In the finale of the finale, when negligence begets rashness, the comeback is come back upon!
Ouch! I have fury! In the last moments of the finale, when relief leads to negligence that begets rashness. That is when the comeback that faltered comes back and beats your pathetic comeback that I scoff at!
See ya! Well, that sure was something that happened. Oh, it looks like I am indebted to you once again. So, farewell! Okay. That's it? You're just gonna outie? Alright. That was a good part. There's some fun voices. Boy, they're kitting me up real good with stuff, huh? Can't believe Fawful is dead. I mean, because I keep this stream very PG-13, I can't say the full Fawful is dead, but I'm sure you can hear the implication. Origami King has some good dance numbers. There's one in particular that I'm thinking about, but I don't want to ruin it. Okay, so off camera, I went back to Bean Castle Town and got the Bean Star pants, which give you first strike, which I believe will let you attack first in battle. Obviously, my stats take a hit, but for reasons I want at least someone to have this. Actually, Mario's HP is worse. Maybe I should let him have it. Oops. I really hope that first strike works as I think it does. Because if it doesn't, then we'll be fine. We'll be fine. But
You've done well to make it here. I should have expected as much from the superstars of the Mushroom Kingdom. Unfortunately for you, those who desire to disrupt my plans have very short futures. After conquering the Bean Kingdom, I intend to make the Mushroom Kingdom mine as well.
stop. You're gonna burn the place down. Also, those clown curtains are terrible.
My new country has no need for old superstars. It will do just fine with only one, the Great Bowletta.
Yeah, you should burn the clown curtains, actually. Cacoletta's tuned, but sped up. Do I want to buff? It looks like first strike does work as intended, so that's good. Luigi was sort of my litmus test. Oh. Okay, I'm pretty sure I want to break these. Because I think she heals with them? No, that was too soon. So sue me, I don't remember the timing. Let's see if I can get that debuff to land. There we go. Ugh, spooky. Ah. Stop. I think I take damage if I hit her like this. I'm gonna take a second and just use these healing items I've been hoarding. Okay, the debuff did stick. Cool. Yeah, the final boss in this game has some cool tunes. That's a cool palette swap. Ah! Why can I not do it with Mario? Terrible. I'm gonna save the peppers for a little bit. Because...
Ah! No! Cursed Mario Bros! Not again!
You gonna move? No? Okay.
No.
Fools! You let your guards down! Even with all your fancy attacks, you can't beat me! Farewell, you two losers! It's time you took a nice, relaxing break. In my belly!
Don't make it weird, Cacoletta. It's weird. I mean, the last battle, we already had the whole... They're dead. No, they're not. It was a fake.
Are you still conscious? Ugh, you're a persistent pair.
Here's some good music.
I shall dispose of you quickly and then eat you for lunch.
Alright, so this is why I got those pants for Luigi, because if you'll notice our HP, we have 1. And unless you have either been boosting your speed really high or have an item like that, Cackletta is probably going to go first, and she's probably going to use an attack that will hit both of you. I'll point it out when she does it. Needless to say, when I first played this game, I got some game overs on this part. And yes, if you die to Cackletta, you do have to do the whole fight over again. Or like Bowletta, you have to do all of Bowletta again. So, not great. Ugh. Oh. Well, that pepper was a waste. Dang. So it's this attack. Boy, my jumps are slowed because I'm carrying Luigi, but yeah, that arms attack. It's easy to get hit by it. Man, that was bad. You bet this game is responsible for a lot of ungodly fan art. No, don't make it weird. No, it was weird back when it was that we dealt with that egg guy in the theater. Never mind. I was like, why is Luigi taking so much damage? It's because he has those pants on. Ha. Let me try that pepper again. Hopefully he doesn't die, because dying will remove the buff. And then I'll feel very silly. Okay. Should just use a nut, I think. Isn't this Bowser's digestive system? Technically speaking, yes. I mean, this is not the first time we see it either. Oh, sorry, this is the first time we see it, but it's not the last. That is what I meant to say. I'd like to stream Bowser's Inside Story at some point. Okay, we'll use that. But I also want to heal the extra weight. Let's get a refreshing herb. Okay, and now we just don't die. So... you know what? I'm taking more hits with Luigi because he's got the, yeah, the pepper makes him lighter. Oh. Oh, no! Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, no. Welp. Didn't die the way I thought I would. Well, let's not bother with the peppers. Maybe I'll use one in this fight. That's okay, I was planning for that to happen. So... meh. Ugh. Hubris. Why don't I just buff Mario for this, just to make it go a little faster? Let's use that pepper. Wouldn't be authentic without dying to the final boss at least once. Yeah. Again, I gotta reiterate that if you're not using an item to make yourself go first like I am, it's very easy to die on the next part. Because I know I have lost some runs to beating Bowletta and then getting to Cackletta's soul and then dying to the hands. It's always the hands. I mean, that's not guaranteed that's the first attack she's going to use, but a lot of the time it would be the hands and I would struggle to dodge them. There we go. 100% grade A final boss. It is pretty cool. Wow, that went really fast. It'd be nice if Mario kept the buff. But he's not, because he's... I mean, I don't think he's gonna. I never use peppers, because I forget they exist. Okay. No more trickery. Let's just hit stuff. That's what we're good at. Certainly not plumbing. Yep, we're still conscious somehow. Did I not equip the pants to Luigi before I saved? I don't know. Whatever. I guess I could just use the Ultra Nuts, because our HP is not very high. Have a good one, Joe! Catch you later. Take care. I'll beat this for you. Okay, so we want to take out the hands. Nintendo loves their hand bosses, huh? Uh-oh. Timed that wrong. Whoops. Cool. Okay. Just like any boss with multiple limbs, you gotta bust up all the limbs before the real target becomes available. Or at least before the boss takes any significant damage. There we go. Time that better. You struggled in a similar bit at the end of Link's Awakening with swinging arms. So all the bits came back, but that's okay, because what we have to do right now is focus on that heart. Wish we could volley that back to hurt her, but alas. Sorry if you can hear my button mashing. Yeah, this goes better when I can... Luigi is not floaty? There we go. You were just thinking that you could mash up Cackletta and Dracia's theme. You know what? I never played enough of... was it Canvas Curse that had Dracia? What was the one they released on the Wii U? With the really... Oh, hang on. I got distracted. With the really cute, like, clay art style. And the soundtrack was a lot of rearranged songs from older Kirby games. Because I can't remember the name of it. All my brain is providing is Canvas Curse, which was the DS one. Okay, now we bust up the hands and stuff again. Dang. Rainbow Curse, thanks. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, I wonder how many Mario games I've played out of all the Mario games that are out there. And I wonder, do we count stuff like Hotel Mario, which is not really a real Mario game? Or what about stuff like Mario's early years? Mario Teaches Typing. I played both of those, but I don't know. I haven't played Mario's Game Gallery, though. I think I could just jump on her and I'd probably do it. No. Hubris. This time? No? Okay. I'll use a bros attack, I guess. I was trying to be cheap, but... So I feel like I've got to have played most of the Mario games that are out there. I think. And I think by that extension, I wonder if I've played most of the Kirby games that are out there. I want to say yes, but you know what? I'm not sure. There's some major ones I haven't played, like Triple Deluxe or Robobot. I haven't played Rainbow Curse. I kind of bounced off Canvas Curse. I don't really like the touchscreen controls, I suppose. This mushroom is just excessive. There's got to be over 100 Mario games by now. I mean, even if we count just the mainline Mario games and not spin-offs, like, say, Mario Party or Mario Kart, there's a lot. Does anybody know if there's a list out there of Mario games? Even, like, just the mainline ones? Because now I'm curious if I can figure out how many of those I've played. Ah, heck. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Whoops. And I've played a lot of the spin-off games too. I've spent a lot of time in Mario Party over the years. Probably a Wikipedia article. Oh, the heart went back in. Boo. I mean, there's always Super Mario Wiki, which is... what the... fairly exhaustive. Oh. Stop that. I should probably... oops. I meant to go for the arm, but that's fine too. Stop. This is awkward to do with this controller compared to a Game Boy Advance, which is how I first played it back in the day. No backlit screen. Dark times. There's one more attack she can do that I haven't seen yet. I wonder where it is. Unless I'm misremembering. Canvas Curse had some neat remixes of previous tracks and a rad final boss you have a soft spot for. I should listen to Canvas Curse's soundtrack, because I liked Rainbow Curse's soundtrack despite having not played it. Oh boy. Boy, I thought it was gonna be Mario first. It was not Mario first. I'm just gonna heal him, just in case. That is not the target I want. That's the target I want. Okay, I guess it's based on his position as to where or what bro he attacks first. Man, are you dead yet? Not me. Jeez. Without spoiling anything from any games, what is the longest or most arduous final boss fight you can remember doing? You can just list the game. Because I know some games the final boss is a spoiler. Oh, this attack! I didn't jump in time. Okay. The laser. I mean, this one definitely takes some doing. Especially how many times the hand attack killed me at the beginning of the fight. Please don't regress, heart. Oh. Stop that. Uh-oh. I should heal just in case. There we go. Oh, the hand attack. There it is. Yeah, see, if that was the opening move, we would have been dead. Stop! I have to heal again. Let's get with Chopper Bros first, and then heal. Okay, there we go. Well, her attacks are becoming a lot more aggressive. The fire's bigger. Ugh, there we go. Finally get the hang of it. Pilot Wings, a Mega Man X. No, then you go to Pilot Wings. I've only played very little Pilot Wings, and when I tried it, it was on the Switch, the Virtual Console. I was visiting my friend Bagtree, and I decided to try Pilot Wings while she was watching. And that game is a lot harder than I was expecting. Stop telling me I'm flying too low. I'm fine. You're not my mom. You can't tell me what to do. Anyway, it was pretty silly. I can't even imagine what flying a helicopter in that game would be like. The music in Pilot Wings was nice, I do remember. And I got better at it, but I didn't want to, obviously spend the whole time playing it. Oops. That would have been really funny if it gave you the option. A final boss that's actually a puzzle, and the only way to win is to run away. Dang it. This attack sucks. Stop it. Okay, it's gonna keep going. Must remember that. Gonna risk another hit before healing. No. Oh, I forgot that attack existed. Jeez. Oh my god. Mario! Have a heart attack already, please. Ugh. Oh no. The jumps are really slow. Oh, come on, Luigi. No! No! Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I gotta do all that again? Ugh! Do I have those pants equipped? I don't. But I guess Luigi's fast enough to go first anyway. Dang. Oh. Sorry, guys. Terrible. Maybe I should focus more and stop thinking about how many Mario games I've played. Obviously not enough, because I had to get good. Weh. The number's pretty high, though. The tragic loss. Definitely a good thing I did this its own stream. Would a save state help? I could, if you guys don't mind, so you don't have to see this part. Not that I need it, because obviously we're gonna win. I don't really want to cheap out with a save state, though. Maybe in the interest of expediency. Oh, I meant to hit... Oops. I meant to hit one of these things. There we go. Yeah. There we go. I know I can do it with that one. I mean, gosh, I've done it on the Game Boy Advance more than once. I don't know how many times I've beaten this game. At least 2. I want to say 3. I know you don't consider it cheating, but my pride... I don't have any pride left after my abysmal performance tonight. It has been a week. But I say that every week, don't I? It's just been a series of weeks for the past several months. Don't push my luck with healing items. I think you're right. I got greedy. I thought I would be fine and I could last another rounds. I was not expecting her to be quite so aggressive. Oh. Are you dead yet? Well, I should have done the defense debuff, but it feels like at this point, I don't know how much longer she's gonna last. People were really hardcore. I guess they manually track how much damage they've done to a boss, huh? There's a bit in Final Fantasy IX called the Festival of the Hunt. And if you want the best prize from it, you have to let Freya, one of your party members, win. And the best way to do that is to find like a special boss monster during the Festival of the Hunt. and let her kill it. She don't control her. I think you control her in the battle. Either way, you have to let her kill the boss, and it's hard to time right. Because I think if you just let Zidane die, it's a game over. Because at that point, you're not technically working together. Deaths like that are the ones that would catch you, and why you had so many game overs. It's hard, you know? It's like, I could heal, or I could just do more damage. Okay. There we go. I was so close, too, when she was busting out those attacks. There we go. Safe. Ugh. Maybe the fire wasn't actually bigger then, and it was just in my head. It felt bigger. More imposing. I wonder if the Thunder Bros debuff would work. Not that I really need it, I don't think. The ones where you'd be a good chunk of the way in and then wipe. Feeling that. Ah, what the... I pressed the button. I pressed the button. Why did it not happen? Can I heal this with a thing? Oh, good. Maybe I should prioritize that hand because it does the fire attack, and that one is harder to do. Maybe if I turn my thumb sideways, I can get it a little better. Because I would just be pressing them both with just the tip of my thumb, which is a little awkward. Because tiny baby hands, man. There we go. I'm gonna try using that pepper now. You said it last time, but you still have the vivid memory of sitting in bed with your GBA playing this fight over and over. Turn your thumb sideways. It's like I'm voicing Herbie all over again. Why did the crab have a speech impediment? Oh, what the... Did not like my button press. Okay, what did I heal first? Just in case. Here we go, and then we'll fight the head. Good plan. Okay. Maybe when the heart's visible, I'll try Thunder Bros and oops, see if it affects anything. I hate this hand attack. This is the one that would always kill me at the HP to 1 bit. I'm surprised she hasn't done it. Because that's what I would always wind up with. Thumb sideways. Thumb sideways. There we go. Well, that's a lot easier. Okay. Oh, that was too soon. Terrible. No. Okay, let's see. Oh, that heals it. Okay, well that's not good. Is it like I'm applying defibrillation? Critical heal. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this hand first, because I don't like the fire attack. jeez. I should heal. Don't get greedy, don't get greedy, don't get greedy. Much as I want to. I am a greedy slob. She really is flipping us off at those attacks, too. Okay, I don't know if you can flip somebody off if you only have 4 fingers. Stop. Maybe. I mean, if anybody would find a way, I suppose Cacletta would. I have never flipped anyone off. I have never even made the shape with my hands, because I'm such a goody two-shoes. Although maybe internally I've thought it when somebody's being a real jerk. I'm too soft. Also, why can't I do that? Soft brain. There we go. Let's wreak some havoc. Why am I not doing the advanced version of that? Because I think I can hit her multiple times with the advanced version. I just never bothered to learn it. Now it's coming back to bite me in the tail. Okay, don't read the chat. Don't read the chat. Focus. There we go. Stop. This would be like the perfect time for like a prince or something to fly in and make a grand gesture and solve everything. Maybe, but that would require Peasley to get consumed. Although, you know what? It wouldn't be the first time. Which is a weird thought. This game sure is something, huh? Everything ever so slightly off model. Whoa. Fire definitely faster and more aggressive now. It's not just doing 2 turns before swapping. Maybe it is. No, it's not. Okay, there we go. Boy, that is so much easier when I turn my thumb sideways. Who would have thought? Ow. That was just silly. Nope. I don't know if that was the right one. No, it wasn't. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do. There we go. That's better. Okay. These are no Toho lasers. Yeah, they're too slow. What gives? I'm gonna heal Luigi. Just in case, before I take out the head. Because I gotta maximize hitting the heart when I have the opportunity to do so. And I don't want to waste those turns healing. Oh, that was not good. Going a lot smoother this time around, huh? Now that I'm actually paying more attention. I mean, geez, man, I beat Hollow Knight. Oh, I wasn't... Oh, no, I have to jump. No. Was not paying attention. Yeah, I beat Hollow Knight on stream, so, like... This shouldn't give me trouble. Stop it. I would say you all should play Hollow Knight yourselves if you can, but I know it's a very demanding game. So worth it though. I was kind of hoping for Silk Song news during Nintendo's surprise little mini direct. Maybe eventually. I'm trying to remember what else they announced now, and I can't. I remember being surprised by Puyo Puyo Tetris too. I am bad at both games, so, I mean, I doubt I'd pick it up, but I appreciate that it exists. Oh, I don't think I jumped in time. Oh, we're good. Yeah, the characters are cute. Except for, the twins. I don't remember their names. J and L, I think. The two twins from the first Puyo Tetris, I found them extremely irritating. Both in Japanese and English. Just, I don't know, why can't we have normal twin characters? Like, even Final Fantasy XIV is a pair of obnoxious twins. I mean, like, Final Fantasy, I know you can do good, not obnoxious, gimmicky twin characters, because you did a great job with them in Final Fantasy VI, but no, now you gotta be anime about it. I thought you were cool. That's a lie, I never thought you were cool. Oh, not this one. Oh. Dang it. Dang it! Redemption arc, eventually. Oh, you were watching my Hollow Knight stream. Oh, gosh. How much you missed it. Good music and good bugs. I agree. I'm excited to hear what Christopher Larkin brings to the table in Silk Song. Oh, her body didn't regen. Yes!
God! What? Huh? Hey! What's happening to me?
Toot.
It can't be! Impossible! No! How could I... And to this filthy little pair! How could I lose?
See ya. I had some bad heartburn. Let's draw on his face. No? Just... okay. See ya, I guess. Change your curtains! Oh, I have to go around, I guess. Oh, it's you.
Cheers to the superstar siblings!
Actually, I'm just gonna do a save state in case it does that universe-destroying reset.
I have just finished rigging this castle with an explosive device. We must escape before it blows up and falls from the sky. Make haste. I will meet you at the castle entrance.
What? No, but, I mean, this is Bowser's place. People live here. Bowser's right. I mean, and plus, you're gonna let it fall. I mean, people live below the castle. You just gonna let them die? Because you're a rich dude? Okay, I see a switch there. Gotta get that barrel. Hey, you're just gonna leave Bowser there? Well, it's not like we can carry him out. He's a big boy. I'm sure he's survived worse. I mean, look at Mario Galaxy. He's basically survived the universe ending. Come on. He's got employees, he's got kids, question mark. This was post Mario Sunshine, so yes, he has kids. Oh god, it was post Mario Sunshine, right? Yes, yes it was, because Luigi's Mansion, since EGAD was here. Oh, hello.
Hurry! We've got to get out of this place, now!
Wait, nice of our ride to wait for us. Your nose looks so squished.
Whoa! Where am I? What have I been doing?
Don't worry about it, man. You need to know what happens if you don't make it? It's a long timer, though. Look, I have a save state. Maybe at the end I'll reload it just for you. Oh. He's fine. Bowser's gonna find out. Nice collar, Queen Bean.
Take care, everyone. Please come visit us in the Mushroom Kingdom someday.
Princess Peach, you have a fine group of friends. I am quite envious.
Toadsworth! Lady Lima!
Oh, yeah, Peach's reaction says, "Ah, Princess Peach, Mario Bros, Luigi eating dirt. I must thank you all. Accept this gift from me to mark our parting." Rejected. Never heard from again. He never writes. Toadsworth got himself a long-distance girl bean, though. Good for him. Aww. Aww. We could at least let him fly economy. He never writes, he never calls, he doesn't remember Luigi's name. How fast are we going to keep Bowser moored in the air like that behind us? If anybody wants to do the math, of course that would revolve around knowing how much Bowser weighs, and I guess how much Peach's plane weighs. I don't know. I just feel bad for him. Look, if not economy, cargo? Maybe even heated cargo? Oh, there he is. Can he at least, like, go near the window and wave? No? You're too cool for that, huh? Oh, there you go. Goodbye, Green Mario.
Oh, hey, it's the girls who hung out with Hermie. There he is, the crab of the hour.
I was gonna say Kazumi Totaka did a voice, but yeah, the Yoshis, that's right. If you haven't heard, like, Yoshi's voice clips from, like, Yoshi Story and whatnot, played at normal speed and not sped up, so you hear Kazumi Totaka's voice as is. You should. It's disarming. Here you go. Here's your boss. Man, why would you do that? Like, their castle already dropped from thousands of feet in the air. Are you just gonna make another big Bowser-shaped hole in it? He already had to spend so much time fixing it at the end of Mario RPG. And not just another name in a long Lima list in a little green book. Oh, we never replaced Hermie's star. I think that is actually a side quest. Regardless of the above mention, the copyright of character Geno reserved by Square Enix Co. Limited. Oh boy, the face of her castle looks like a weird mouth, and I don't like it. I want a parade. Encore. Encore. Thank you so much for playing my game. Sorry, that line is burned into my brain. How many times have I beaten Mario 64? A lot. Well, gosh. I'm so glad I could stream this game. It's another favorite. Even if that last boss fight got a little silly. I guess I'm going to undermine that nice moment at the end. Because as a favor to Carrie, I'm going to find out what happens if you let the timer run out. So I do have, let's see, fast forward speed. Let's just crank it up. I don't want to do it too fast in case the game crashes. And also this gets kind of annoying. Whoa. Alright, any last words? Will we let this timer go out? My theory is that you're just going to get an immediate game over. With no fanfare. It'd be nice if you got a little cutscene though. Well, this is what anxiety sounds like. This game is real important, huh? Certainly formative in some ways, and helped me meet a lot of my friends online, strangely enough. Like Carrie here. Wild to think about, huh? And then through Carrie. Oh! Ah, man, I had it sped up. Wait, I don't want to save. I want to load. Hang on, no. No. I don't want to... Just kidding. I don't want to accidentally save over... Oh, I screwed up the game window. And now you still have to listen to this. Okay. I'm going to turn it down so we can actually see the castle explode. Not really sped up. It's the same exploding graphic, but you know. This is such a weird note to end on. I guess while we're waiting for this to count down, next stream might be Paper Mario, if I can get everything running smoothly. But of course, if you have any suggestions or other things you would like to see, don't hesitate to let me know. Leave a comment on YouTube or send me a note on Twitter, and I'll have a look at it. I wasn't kind of intending for Mario RPGs to become my temporary niche, but you know what? I like them a lot. They hold a special place in my heart, so I don't mind. And of course, if I can continue streaming games that would be enjoyable to all of you, I would be more than happy to do so. I'm glad this game allowed you to meet me. Ah, gosh, same. Now, as we count down, Mario's dead eyes staring into space. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Heck yeah. Fade to red. Alright. That's it for me. I'll catch you guys probably on Tuesday. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, stay out of trouble. I'll catch you next time. Good night.